What up, people? The PlayStation Showcase was yesterday and it was pretty interesting. We got to see a bunch of amazing games and I'm going to run through them all. There are almost 30 games to go over, so I'll talk about some games longer than others just so we're not here all day. Also, I won't be covering the VR announcements because I have very little knowledge or interest in VR, so me talking about it would just be a waste of your guys' time. Last thing, if you're new to the channel, I make content about single player games primarily focused around PlayStation and Nintendo. I mostly cover RPGs, but I dabble in other genres as well. If you end up enjoying this video, consider subscribing. But with all that out of the way, let's get started. The showcase started out with a reveal trailer of Fair Game, or Fair Games, I'm not really sure. I'm assuming this is going to be one of the many free-to-play multiplayer games that PlayStation is going to be releasing, and even though these type of games don't interest me personally, it'll be interesting to see if one of these hits with players. Next was Helldivers 2, which will be the sequel to the 2015 top-down shooter. I'm not familiar with the Helldivers series, but it's interesting to see that they're switching to third person to fit in with a lot of modern shooters today. The trailer had a very silly tone, which I like, but hopefully the game can have a balance between serious and goofy. I'm also curious to see how fans of the first game will feel about this game when it releases sometime this year. Immortals of AVM is a single first-person magic shooter where you'll master 3 colors of magic and unleash spells in fast, fluid combat. This was one of the games that caught my attention throughout the showcase. The gameplay looks really fun, and with 25 spells and 80 talents to unlock and upgrade, I'm interested to see how deep the combat will be when it comes out July 20th. Next, we had a teaser for Ghost Runner 2. I didn't play the original game, so I don't have much to say about this one, but just like Immortals of AVM, the gameplay looks really exciting and I'll probably keep my eye on it when it releases, I believe, later this year. After Ghost Runner, we got a lengthy trailer for a new action RPG called Phantom Blade Zero. When I was watching the trailer, it looked like what would happen if you took the combat from Sekiro and put it in a game like Bloodborne. I absolutely love the mixture of fast-paced combat mixed with a dark and bleak art style. This was definitely one of the highlights of the showcase, and I'll be eagerly waiting to hear more about it. Fans of the Cat Quest series will be happy as there's a new game coming in 2024 called Cat Quest Pirates of the Caribbean, which is an amazing title, by the way. I played the first game a long time ago and I remember really enjoying it. The first 2 games never tried to be too complicated and instead went for just cute and charming fun. Like I said, the game will be releasing next year and I can't wait to see more of it. Another game I was really interested in was the Plucky Squire. I was already sold on the game when I first saw the fairy tale book art style, but when they showed the game switching to 3D, this ended up being my second favorite announcement of the showcase. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say I saw a few clips of both 2D and 3D mixed together, which would also be really cool. Devolver Digital has always been one of my favorite developers based on what seems like constant innovation, and the Plucky Squire seems no different. We got a first look at the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, titled Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. I'm sure this is one of the highlights of the show for a lot of people, and it's great to see another game being added to this franchise, even if it's just a remake. The only Metal Gear game I'm familiar with is Metal Gear Solid 5, which I only played a little bit of because I didn't like it that much. But maybe this will be the game that gets me into the franchise for good. Towers of Agaspa, I hope I'm saying that right, is an action-adventure builder game set in a very colorful and unique fantasy world. What stood out to me first was how it slightly reminded me of Tears of the Kingdom, but that's probably just because I'm currently playing that game at the moment. The combination of exploration and building a civilization is very intriguing to me, and that's probably a game that I'm going to be on the lookout for. We got another trailer for Final Fantasy 16. I wouldn't say I'm tired of seeing trailers for this game, but I feel like the people who are interested in this game are already sold on it by now. Either way, this is one of the main games I'm looking forward to this year of packed games, and June 22nd can't get here fast enough. The sequel to the beloved action thriller game Alan Wake 2 was announced to be released October 17th of this year. Like many games on this list, I'm not familiar with Alan Wake, but the Resident Evil remake has me looking forward to more horror action games, so I'll probably end up buying this down the line. Next, we get a reveal trailer for Revenant Hill, which comes from the creators of the criminally underrated Night in the Woods. I'm excited for this game solely based on how much I loved Night in the Woods when I played it a couple years ago. The game did an amazing job with tackling serious issues such as depression, anxiety, and abuse, while also finding creative ways to add humor as well. If this game can accomplish half of what that game did, then we're looking at a possible Indie Game of the Year contender. Also during the showcase, we got another look at Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Now, I love my action RPGs and this does look good, but for some reason I'm not excited for it and I don't know why. Something just feels generic about it to me. But anyway, it's being released this winter and the more I see of it, the more I'll probably end up liking it. Dragon's Dogma 2 is another game I'm really looking forward to. I love open world RPGs more than almost anything else, and this seems right up my alley. Everything about this trailer was exciting from the combat, characters, and the monster designs. I haven't played the first game, but I'm literally looking it up on Steam as I'm writing this, so I'll probably be playing it soon. But yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2 is on my top 5 list of games for this showcase. Before I get to Spider-Man, I'm going to briefly run through the rest of the games that I either didn't have a lot to say about it, or the game just didn't interest me that much. We got a reveal trailer for Talos Principle 2. The makers of Grease revealed a new game they're working on called Neva. From the makers of Journey, we saw a quick look at Sword of the Sea. The little gameplay we saw involved surfing through a desert while looking for a lost ocean. I particularly love the art style of Journey, and I'm glad the makers are making another game. We got another, what I'm assuming is a free-to-play shooter by Square Enix called Foam Stars. Like I said earlier with Fair Game, be prepared for Sony to put a lot of these type of games out because they really want one to stick. Teardown is coming to PlayStation. I've never heard of this game before, but it looks like a mixture of Minecraft and maybe Forza. I don't know, but it looks kind of cool. We saw more of Assassin's Creed Mirage. Honestly, it's hard for me to get excited for Assassin's Creed games anymore, but if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed, I hope you get what you want out of it. I am somewhat interested in the one that's supposed to be in Japan though. We got some more Street Fighter 6 gameplay, hashtag bring back Cotton. We saw a reveal trailer for a game called Ultros, I'm not sure, which looked really cool. It's something I'll probably pick up on the Switch. The open world RPG Tower Fantasy is coming to PlayStation in the summer. It looks flashy and fun, but I have a rule against MMOs, so it's a no for me, but I'm sure a lot of you will enjoy it. We got to see what Bungie's been working on since the PlayStation deal, which is a new sci-fi shooter called Marathon. Not a huge Destiny guy, so I'm not sure what to make of this game, but we'll see. Speaking of Destiny, we got an announcement for a Destiny showcase that's coming in August, so I'm sure fans of the looter shooter are excited for that. We saw a very brief look at a space adventure game called Concord, and they announced a couple of accessories including Project Q, which is a mobile screen attached to a DualSense controller, and some new PlayStation earbuds. I'm kind of mixed on both of these. If I could play games on the handheld device without internet, then I'm more likely to buy it. And I would only buy those earbuds if I had the handheld device, because using earbuds to play on my TV doesn't really interest me much, but we'll see. The showcase ended with the game everyone has been desperately waiting to see, which is Spider-Man 2. We got to see a nice 10-minute gameplay, which included some new moves during combat and stealth sections. I love how in the beginning they had you switch from Peter to Miles mid-mission, and I hope that's something that's a recurring theme throughout the game to keep gameplay fresh. Symbiote Spider-Man looks really cool while fighting in all black, and his fighting style seems a little bit more aggressive than usual, as is Peter's attitude, and I'll be interested to see how that plays out through the entirety of the story. This was a day one purchase for me since I finished the first game, but this was really exciting to see and I can't wait to play it when it releases this fall. Alright, that's everything from the showcase, guys. Overall, if I had to rate it, I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10. It wasn't amazing, but there were a handful of games I'm legit excited for, like Spider-Man, Phantom Blade Zero, The Plucky Squire, and Dragon's Dogma 2. What were your favorite games from the showcase? Let me know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with the channel. Later.